Relax, everyone. It's not a Canadian bias spawn at all because he's playing Japanese. We'll never touch these. What and all. Welcome back to the midweek muster. We are into week number 7 here. Puppy Paw, the reigning champion, returned. He needs to come back to try and defend that title, and it's going to be up against Stopper. Stopper, who has really impressed, man. Really impressed by the performance he had in the round of 32. Has had some really cool games in the matchups he's played. Like, for example, there was the matchup against Cat. That was an insane game. You guys might remember that on Scarguard, where somehow Stopper survived much longer than I think anyone would. But let's see what we're going to get in this series. Atacama, a map that usually rewards pressure. Japanese are kind of scary on this type of map, though, right? Because they do have the ability to raid you quite freely. There's, yes, a lot of safe resources close, but not much in the grand scheme of things for things like wood. And also, the other thing to keep in mind is this is a really hard matchup for French. Japanese kind of just turn French into human toilets. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. It's ridiculous how good the Mounted Samurai build is against French Knights. So you have to do something different. I've heard ideas punted around, for example, going for an outpost rush against the Japanese. I'm not sure how viable that is on a map like this, though. I mean, in theory, if you get there quick enough, but if you're seen for a second, it feels almost so much further away than like on a standard Dry Arabia to reach the golds. If French go 2TC, I think if you go 2TC, you just die. Because like the problem with 2TC here is the time to repay the investment is even higher than other civs because you're spending more food than other civs in the early game. Meanwhile, Japan will just rush castle and then they'll get knights. They'll get the Mounted Samurai. That's your problem, right? It's like you're behind on knight count. Knight count already doesn't get you very far. I think actually for French, the way you have to play this is weirdly enough spears. Got a few knights to raid, but go spears. Chamber of Commerce can be pretty sick with the right spawn. This is just not the spawn. Right? It's like central trade post, so you have to have like a trade here. You don't really want to be trying to trade against a civ that you know is going to rush into knights. And this makes it rougher. Puppy Paw knows, man. I've talked about this like a broken record. Coca Township was being slept on way too much. So good in Feudal Age, we're applying some pressure. You can even turn it into like a feudal aggro play in certain situations. This won't be that particular game, but where this can get very annoying is like a little bit later when a few ninjas show up the fight between the knights and the samurai. Ninjas actually have very high base damage. They actually mirror the damage output of a samurai, a mounted samurai. Cock is always an option if you lose anyway. Oh yeah, so you just go Chamber of Commerce so you can blame it on the landmark, right? There we go. That's the only reason I lost. No, Stopper isn't like that, man. Stopper's looking for the win. I mean, Stopper does pretty well, right? We talked about this before, where he's ranked quite highly on the leaderboards, despite not having that much time to play, because he actually he's a Russian commentator, right? But actually, sorry, no. I think Stopper's in chat right now, right? You commentate in Russian, if I'm not mistaken, but you're from, was it Kazakhstan? And yes, Chamber of Commerce is definitely there versus Fast Castle. Like I said, it's because it's Mounted Samurai, you just get killed. Outpost coming up. Puppy Paw's doing something different here. He went for the boar. A very rare sight for the Japanese to do this early. But he's on the boar. And we do have an outpost coming up, so we'll have a blocker play in this area. Could even go for the garrison and do a little bit of damage. Unfortunately, the click goes through the repair. And Arislet's already in the way, but he hasn't guarded his back gold here. First Shinobi is going to be coming out soon. Stopper already has a knight that should be on the way. I mean, sometimes the Vil count on each resource, we usually switch between. Chill, puppy, chill. Some other technique's definitely going to be worth it here. And we have pro scouts on the other side from Stopper. Honestly, I think if you're Puppy Paw, you just take this opportunity to shove the deer underneath the outpost, right? Like, the Shinobi is just a glorified deer shover. I mean, it would be... What the What are you doing to yourself right now? Okay, that was the most self-griefing I've seen from Puppy Paw in a while. Doesn't want the deer, just wants to go stab people in the face. To see the first one of the knights. I mean, you could actually just go for a Shinshin to get the free stab. I think instead he's going to wait until he's close to the outpost. Okay, it didn't work out that way. Okay, that actually worked out very well because the charge didn't come in, right? Because Stopper attacked with a sword, he lost the charge, which means he can't get the kill. And the difference here is this ninja will heal. The Royal Knight is not going to heal anytime soon. You don't have Chivalry. A little bit of a oversight or missight there by Puppy Paw, though. Let's give over a freebie on the back. Does have free ninja to play with, and this is where it gets awkward. Like, your knight will lose the ninja now. Oh, especially with that move. Double stab coming in. Stop it. He's trying to turn this into a very micro-focused game. It's just not really working out according to what his plan was. Even spears now. Okay, this is just wildly different out of Puppy Paw. I would not have expected Spearman in the feudal age. Usually you just rush Mount Samurai. It's such a winning play. But this is so different. I think it's in respect of the pro scouts. He wants to try and block that play, right? He'll be able to do so. There is at least now a knight arriving, but if Puppy Paw just micros away... Oh, he didn't get it, though. You want to be standing behind the spear to get the brace, because then you get a free stab in while this guy's stunned. Ninjas are on the way back over. So Spearman is just going to try to stab it out as much as he can. Stopper, I'm not really convinced right now by the knights. He kind of needs to turn this into a multi-attack type game. Right now, the focus is between the two players based on the short route, which is why infantry will work well. The villages. Wait a second, these aren't mine. God, this is just weird to watch, though. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. 2 HP. When was the last time? When was the first time? Is this the first time anyone has watched Shinobi Spearman in the feudal age? Feels like it is for me. It's a cool read, though. I think I've talked about this on stream before. Like Shinobi actually, they trade very well into knights when handled correctly, especially for their cost. You just have to out-micro. But Puppy Paw is very crafty about this because by going for the racks, you don't need to like out-micro by shuffling your Shinobi too much. You just walk forward, they go to charge you, you brace, and if they get stunned, they die. You immediately just Shunshin on top of them so that you block their retreat. So then your Spearman gets an extra attack, and your Shinobi just keeps stabbing. It's really smart, actually. And look at what he's done now. He's forced Stopper to go into archers when the real intent for Puppy Paw was always castle. So now he's going to be able to go into Mounted Samurai like he normally would, but his opponent has wasted time building archers while also losing knights. This is pretty wacky. I'm loving this build, right? Very, very different approach. And I think really a big part of it was enabled by the boar. Floating gate now on the way. It's going to be shuffling where he guards because he's always got the outpost for the boar workers. Needs to defend his goal because that was the trade-off of securing that resource, not having a defense here. Puppy Paw, funnily enough, could actually rush an outpost up now. Yep, there you go. He's on the way. Has to go very defensive. That is going to be an opening for the archers to try and exploit. Really needs the defense. Needs to be fast about it as well because the archers are coming here. Stop with the charge again. Puppy Paw is starting to lose a bit of eco from this. However, the archer's getting a little bit too close to the TC. Oh, man. And Puppy Paw is somehow getting away with that. 3 HP left on the archer. On the villager, rather. Archer's count not good enough to take him down, so outpost is going to go up. And Stopper, despite his best efforts there, the goal just a little bit too close to this town center for him to punish. I mean, that is the nature of the map. Quite often, they will be that tight. Spear's now blocking the retreat. Shinobi weren't quite on the mark there. No Shunshin used. Yeah, the follow-up not looking great either. I think that was a missed opportunity there. If Puppy Paw had Shunshin straight away, he would have sandwiched the knights. 2 of them at least die. Instead, Stopper keeps most of them alive. Age up is complete, however, and Puppy Paw now going to be looking for that stables drop. Stopper has at least got a lot of food to work with here. This is upside in this game. Puppy Paw, meanwhile, has 6 sheep remaining. Then it's berries. Not the worst case situation, per se. The tricky part about this, though, and what makes Pro Scouts feel so good in this situation, is the Mounted Samurai are going to have to dive the TC, right? Because all the food is gathered in one location. So compared to your regular French builds, where you're playing pocket ecos when these knights come in, Stopper should feel a bit more confident about his position in the game. He's not as exposed as the French player normally would be. Nice interceptions again. Remember, Shinobi, they automatically get upgraded, so they're even better now against these knights. Look at that, 29 damage per strike. They basically hit harder than the Spearman does at this stage. I mean, admittedly, a feudal Spearman, but still. Actually, was it? They hit the same, but the attack speed is really the way it differentiates. 1.25 versus 1.88. Stop it. I don't think you're ready for this dive, man. I think he needs a ram play. If Stopper wants to keep doing what he's doing this game, it needs to be a push for a kill. The longer you wait, the worse this gets, right? Mounted Samurai count is already up to 4. Puppy Boy is struggling a little bit to maintain the resource, but that's now changing, right? The pressure on the gold for so long is what skewed things for him. We do have relics now being acquired as well. Mounted Samurai just doing a good job of actually not fighting the main army, right? He's just cutting reinforcements. Just really good trades. Just able to shuffle away. So now Stopper has to pull a huge chunk of his army back. Now what Puppy Paw can do is use the second wave to deal with the archers. They're not here. And there it is. Straight in. Stopper realizing the mistake he made a little bit late there. Luckily for him, doesn't get punished too much. And Chivalry, no, it's not in. He didn't really have the count yet to justify it. Gets caught going out into the ball, so it looks like a villager pick should be happening there. This will be at least able to shuffle this away. It's just so tricky. The problem here, and this is why like it's so good for the Japanese, is even when you outnumber them like this, what ends up happening often is all the knights charge at the same target. One of them connects, but deflective activates. And then the other ones, because of that knight getting in the way, they now take longer to connect. So by the time they're about to reach the Japanese samurai, the charge runs out. It's actually really frustrating. Spears mounted samurai. This is... I gotta give it to them. The Canadians always turn up and show that they've been cooking, right? They ain't that person looking to eat spaghetti bolognese for the 30th day in a row, no. They like to sprinkle some extra spices in there. Make the cuisine different. That samurai are now coming back in, and Stopper a little bit slow on the reaction there. Tries to pull back now. But not really looking like a healthy French lead here. Only 2 eco up. Shinto just snuck out for a second relic. You gotta be kidding me. However, this dive. Stopper. Puppy Boy hasn't realized. He blocks the retreat. Oh my god. It's a trade out in both their bases right now. Both of them losing a lot here. But Puppy Paw feeling the real pain. 6 villager lead right now for Stopper. A lot of idle force on the other side of it. The Mat Samurai starting to get mopped up a little. But in the end, somehow, it's still only a 3 eco difference after that. Puppy was going to make it better for himself. He sees the villagers gathering off the deer. He punishes it. And so much for that healthy French economy. That's wild. I can't believe this. It's only a handful of these Mat Samurai left over. I mean, Stopper is in a really good position when you look at the quality of units. He's going to keep looking to punish in the Japanese base. The problem is at this stage, there's not much left for you to slaughter, right? There's garrison spots for 25 of the 34. So he backs off. Well, Spearman not really feeling as impactful. I can't believe this. I mean, Stopper, dude, he came to play. Gotta give this guy the due credit. I did mention he's no pushover, and he's proven why in this. I mean, Puppy Paw is usually the guy who's just steamrolling player after player after player, but in this game, he looks quite uncomfortable. Yeah, I don't know if the Spearman plot really paid off for Puppy Paw here. I think the pressure that Stopper put in early forced him to do this, but now it just looks a bit awkward. Stopper still has his own awkwardness in this game, right? He still needs to reach H3. Behind that, remember, Puppy Paw should be adding in the monastery soon. He's got 2 relics at home. So he's camping for the 3rd in the future. Stopper is looking for the 3rd H in his future. Just around the corner. Well, Chivalry at this stage is, I agree, critical. Earlier on, I forgive him for not getting it, because he just needed more knights. And I think Stopper, this health bars ain't looking pretty, right? Maybe the thought process at this stage is you want to get the age up, but once you have the age up, Chivalry's kind of sucky. Because remember, it's always +1 health, but when you upgrade, you've now got 40 extra health on each of these knights. It takes a lot longer to heal back up. Speaking of which, knights are going to be moving in. Puppy Paw. Quick to pull away here. Handful of spearmen to defend. And what? Puppy Paw in the right place at the right time. And Knight in the meantime is going to dive into the main. The spearmen are going to idle out the gold. So Stopper, he ran out of gold at home. This is going to sting him. Even if he get a tech up now, he won't be able to afford anything past it. Dive into the base. Actually just as successful. They're both hemorrhaging at this stage. French are still circling with the knights. We'll look for the dive in again. The Mount Samurai Spears are going to also be marching under. Idle time achieved. Stopper, every single villager is not working right now. And another knight arrives to keep it that way. I think Stopper, he's played a good game up to this point, but now he's becoming a little bit too focused on the micro of the army and not enough focused on his economy. Yeah, that's the tricky part, right? Is that Puppy Paw is trying to minimize the loss of gathering at any given phase. Stopper is just headfirst diving into idle time after idle time here. Now, after all is said and done, after all that effort, and it was great effort from Stopper, now he's just drastically behind when it comes to military. May not look like it, 8 to 12, sure, but like 4 of these mounted samurai is more than enough right now for him to dominate the army of the French. And I believe that is healing tech coming through, right? Yeah. Kind of love that from Puppy Paw. At this stage, when both of you have been grinded down to nothing, every single unit matters. So being able to pull them back and rapidly heal them, worth its weight in gold. Stop it. Knows he needs to make that space, get that breathing room. Age up, almost ready to be triggered here. But now the knights, they're moving in. The Shinto in the area, he can go for Sacred Site into Relic. Behind this, we even have the Fudasashi coming through. So gathering is going to be even better if he starts shuffling up to those berries in the back. Man, I'm impressed. I really am. Like, you know, Stopper, could he win this now? It's very difficult to claw back from here. The gold is the biggest issue I'm seeing. He has at least gathered on the south side, so there is some hope. But Puppy Paw, it's 2 relics already. It's about to be a 3rd running home. He's moving out for the 4th now. And he has a notable advantage on Mount Samurai right now. Yes, they're 5-5, but the quality is just day and night. I believe Puppy Paw might even be going for a 2TC play here now. It makes a lot of sense, right? Because French are going to recover eco over time. He already has the Daimyo level 1. Daimyo 2 is pretty expensive. 600 stone versus, what, just getting 350? And then you can even Yorishiro drop the 2nd TC. Alternatively, actually, just Yorishiro drop your primary TC, and the French TC isn't quicker. Right? Because you go down to 15, they're at 17. Tech up now coming, though, from Stopper. Knights are going to find their way towards it, but Stopper at least has enough to block any damage done there. Double Sacred Site now locked in. This has got me really freaking excited for this series, though. Like, game 1, you know, I expected Stopper to put up a decent engagement, but I didn't expect him to trade out the way he did. It's very hard to make those type of calls, to go for those equal trades where you know you're going to lose a lot of economy also. And while he didn't always come out ahead, he in most cases came out at least even. 1 or 2 cases, I'd say he actually took the advantage. He has at least now got that tech up. So there might be a recovery arc into Royal Institute play with the Bloodlines. It is hard, though. Because he needs a lot of gold, right? He needs to vet his knights. He needs to build more knights. He needs to get the extra blacksmith upgrades, the ecotech upgrades. All while not being attacked. And Puppy Paw, he just found his way into the Abandonment. That's a substantial damage buff. Gonna be about an extra 4 damage per samurai. Which balances out. It's actually better than Cantled Saddles at that stage. Dive in. He's going to pick apart the Spearman. Trying to keep that count down. He doesn't want it to reach critical mass where it could repel him. We do have veterancy finally coming through from Puppy Paw and his own spears. Nice. We've been here before. Stopper again. But this time, there's a defense force. Great idea. But Puppy Paw learning from the errors of earlier. Won't be caught out like that so easily. And this is the right call by Stop. He's trying to get into the Arbitraries. Probably his only hope here. Gambesons will make them very tanky against spears, and then enough of them can snipe down the Samurai. I think the issue is going to be gold, though. It's going to be moving with the outposts. 4 workers in there, and I don't see them escaping. He's got the army coming, but it's a pretty pathetic army, for being totally fair. Looks like the Samurai will be slightly distracted, but they just wrap around the back, say, don't mind if I do. Spearman now vetted up, easily able to take on the Knights. And the counter raids, they're just not there. Puppy Paw has found his flow point, blocking all of it out. Second TC is coming in from Teal. But you need army. He has no food. Gold is great, right? But food is really what you need for anything at this stage. You can maybe build a siege weapon, but good luck with that. I think we've reached the end point. All right, what do you think, guys? Puppy Paw or Stopper? Who's taking this series overall? Going into it, I'd forgive everyone for saying Puppy Paw. I think even Stopper would. But even though it's a win for Puppy Paw, it's a matchup that realistically should be a win for the Japanese. The fact that Stopper made it look this close is pretty damn impressive. And that was a massacre. The escape just not looking pretty. At this stage, he's just processing the loss, right? I think Stopper is probably very high on the endorphin rush, adrenaline rush of it. He's played an incredible game. And now he just doesn't want to switch off from it. Or he's trying to find the way in, but you have to be very careful. Games like this can go from being a positive booster to your morale to being a very big negative cycle at this stage. This is over. There is too many mounted samurai for you to get any units out of these production buildings. And he's willing to admit it. GG, game 1 going to Puppy Paw. What do you think, guys? What's the final scoreline going to be in this series? I would be surprised if many would still say 2-0. You ask, you shall receive. 2 times to start this up because we know it's going to be a slow start. It's Archipelago. That's what it takes for an Order of the Dragon pick. You guys have been begging for it, and it's happening here, midweek muster number 7. Game number 2 between Stopper and Puppy Paw. This is cool. I love that we can get some Order of the Dragon. Apparently, Stopper loves playing this Civ. The tricky part is Puppy Paw. He had Chinese. He counterpicked instead. English is actually, and was revealed to be a very good counter to OOTD in the early days of Archipelago appearing in tournaments in 2024. If you guys remember, the build was Abbey of Kings into a King drop. And OOTD hates that because Order of the Dragon have to spend way too much to build into their spearmen. Remember, spears, any unit for OOTD is on average twice as expensive. So yeah, a little bit tricky. And we already seen that Abbey of Kings. Not a big fan of the placement by Puppy Paw. I don't really know why he's done that. Usually you want to place it near the coast because then you can get the heel overlap for any of your boats. Stopper. I mean, this has to be Arkan, right? Love this map, by the way. We've been having quite a few games at Archipelago. I think that says something that a lot of players are actually playing into it, because I hear people always moan that pros say they don't want to play water maps, but with how many of them have been drafting it, I would say there's something else to be said about that. But what I'll say about that is smart use of the money. Thank you, Teach J. Appreciate the sub, mate, and welcome back to Swarm. You could argue that it's a player who's not favored trying to get an advantage by playing a less familiar map, but also it's less familiar for them, right? So I don't mind. I think this in particular, EGC's Archipelago, or it's called EGC, but guys, it's actually Caillou who made this, the wonderful Kivayu. We're at it again. I love this. This map, chef's kiss. I feel like in almost every way imaginable, actually no, in every way imaginable, it's a better version of Archipelago. Let me know what you guys think after the games you've been seeing here. We're going to stick on the 2 times to the early game as we start to get towards the skirmishes. But for me, this map has been delivering, man. Speaking of deliveries, Puppy Paw has entered the land. King now arriving, and Stopper. He goes to the body blocks. A little bit cheeky there, trying to buy the time, but he doesn't micro the villager. Oh, no. He doesn't snipe the scout, but obviously not able to get the king there. If he just stuck to the coast, I could kind of make sense of it. And we do have Iraqs being forced. This is the nightmare of every OTD player. Anyone who's played this type of matchup on Water knows exactly what I'm talking about. The king just kind of unravels, because now, here's a cool little difference for you guys. Because Stopper had to go for Iraqs, he had to build a spearman, possibly 2 spearmen. Even just 1, he's now a 310 resource investment. Admiralty only costs 500. This is the dream. And yes, you spent 90 on the transport ship, but you're still in such a desirable position here with the English. King. Puppy ball. Oof, just about gets away. That's really important. The king's going to heal up. He can be more of a nuisance. The Stopper needs to make sure he doesn't have to build a second spear. 2 spears, and it feels like a death sentence here. Oh, wow, Teach. That was 6 months in advance. You legend. Thank you very much, mate. Always recommend people getting the subs in so you don't have to worry about ads. People now looking to pressure, though. Demo ship pump is coming from Stopper. The transport ship, I love this. Like, you actually want to use the scout, but you can also use it in the fight. The whole point of the transport ship is it's 400 HP, and there's no bonus damage against it. So you can bait and absorb a lot of fire. I actually think transport ships are slept on for that reason. In this engagement right now, you could have negated so many shots onto your hulks. The transport... he actually gets the king back out! Okay, puppy paw. He's loving life. So he's going to run the king all the way home, heal him up, and then he can come back about it again. By the way, what do you guys think? Do you like that boats have this passive heal, or do you think it would be better if boats always had a cost to repair? I'm kind of curious, because I haven't asked that question in a very long time. I almost feel like we've just accepted the passive free healing. Is that a good or bad thing, though? Because it kind of feels... I guess it's like it stops as much snowballing. Is that good or bad, though, right? Because obviously, if you have to pay to repair, there is now a daunting check on the investment, right? It's like, oh, you messed up, you get punished. And when you think about how dominant feudal healing can look in the game at the moment, with things like the Dervish, with Scully heals from Delhi, it's kind of wild that everything gets this heal. Detonation coming in. Oh, he did get the villager, though, so that actually makes it quite good. If it had just been the bow, I wouldn't have rated this highly. But able to find that fisher. Wait. That was 2. That was a double kill. So definitely worth it for Stopper. You only hate demo ships? I think demo ships are absolutely required. I think demo ships are probably the only thing that can make water interesting. Would you really prefer... So here's my counter argument to like you hating demo ships, Saffras. We used to have a meta where there wasn't demo ships. You guys remember the age of sprint ships? The spin to win? Was that really better? At least you have a triangle here, right? I don't like that idea that with already a very limited pool of free boats, someone would want less. I think I'd kind of rather see more interactions to give options on water to outplay. And yeah, I think maybe buying the tech is a fair point. Hilariously, H3 already has a tech for that. And the king, oh, he went down! Oh, Stopper! He caught him in the stealth forest! Huge! Even gets the transport ship for free. Stopper says, I am not dead yet, mate. Archer ship's also forwarding. There's a little bit of a regret there for Puppy Paw. Only 1 archer ship to work with. Double demo in reserve. Fishing is a little bit exposed here, but Stopper can easily push this back. Needs to be careful stepping up like this. Demo ships, there is a small area where they can't be seen. Demo, nice connection there. Gets 2. Can't demo play the other way. Is going to hurt, but not kill. Demo ship is Clown Fiesta. I'm sure 2 out of 3 people hate it. I feel like the 2 out of 3 people that hate demo ships is because it actually punishes you for not microing, though. Would that be a fair point? If you think about it, without demo ships, water is less micro heavy. Demos are more punishing than most land interactions when you do something wrong. I think that's a fair statement. And the problem is, like, AoE4 leaned after a casual audience, so that's where water feels really polarizing and weird. It's also just simultaneously weird in another way, though, right? Like, AoE4 is a pro-played game, so you can't really casualize water. Well, Kamarov, what you just said about pulling them out the counter triangle, that's literally what water used to be. Water used to be that you had demo ships in Castle, remember? Part of me kind of wishes that the water system... By the way, we have an age up. But people, we're so focused on it, part people did go King's Pass. He snuck that like crazy. Does he even have... Yeah, Admiralty... This is wild. He has Admiralty. He got King's Palace. So he aged up. He spent 500 resources on a tech as well, which makes it so hard for Stopper now to play into him. 7 tower range, right? Soon it's going to be 8. Stopper needs to age right now. He can't even look to aggro. The difference here, the reason this happened is because Puppy Paw, he just stayed on his home island, right? Well, Stopper pulled a huge chunk of his economy, basically about a third, across to the expansion island early. Yeah, I was going to say there was this very cool game where you basically had loads of units, RTS units, on a boat, and they would man the boat, right? And they could like crash into each other, and then they jump onto each other's boats and attack. I always want to see like an Age of Empires do that. So then land feeds into water. It's not just water is water. That makes sense? We do have a little bit of a face-off here. Armored hulls did already come in. No Spring or Cruise, so no juiced up attack speed. However, Puppy Paw is just getting away with all this easy fishing on the north side. What Stopper could do very quickly here is you go for Regnants, and then you move across to snatch these 2 relics. That would be huge. Order the Dragon with 4 relics is crazy at this point. Because this is the other reason why Order the Dragon feels really good on water, is remember, when it's just about water, the downsides of this Civ don't rear their ugly head. Population isn't an issue. In fact, when you play just pure water, you're better. Because Gilded Villages are still only 1 pop. And they're 28% quicker than standard villages. So if there is a map where Order the Dragon is going to work in the midweek muster current map pool, this is the one. Making water much more complicated would just make people hate it more. I think it just changes the dynamics of how water works. Is it more complicated? It depends. Like, there's ways you can kind of make it simpler. I think the difference with that system is you'd end up with a system where you wouldn't have 30 boats. You'd have like 4 or 5. That's the big grand difference. Stop up. Now with the age up. Regnant's down. All right, this is looking pretty good. We're going to hit the speed up because I think we're going to have a little bit of a gap here. Puppy Paw is clearly macroing for Imperial. And Stopper now just wants to get relics. In fact, Puppy Paw, one thing I don't like for him is he's spending way too long on the starting island. He's finally making his move though. Transport ship on the way. And this should be a Berkshire onto the northern island. Damn, the timing though. 2 demos isn't going to be enough. And we also have a shuffle over. He's going for the relics. This is a sick read. Stopper, can he be fast enough for this though? He's forgetting about these prelates. He needs to ungarrison them. Might still work out to at least get 1 because Puppy Paw is going deep. Which is interesting because really you want the Berkshire here on the coast. Where it can just outgun any boats coming your way. There we go. Wait, no, the spears! Oh, no. No, this is so much worse. I thought it was just a prelate pull. It's actually units that can fight. And Puppy Paw, he has to set up the enclosure. Palisade's going up. He can shortbow beyond this. So he will eventually kill the spears, but they're 180 health. They do not die fast. That's wild. And there's the Berkshire. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. Oh, wow. What a freaking series this is going to turn into. Berkshire on the expansion island from Puppy Paw. He just about gets the safety to set it up. Because that wouldn't have worked, right? If he went for a Berkshire with 18 villagers against 12 damage spears, like, you would have lost way too much. And remember, it's kind of like one of those snowbally things. You lose more villagers, your build speed slows further. It makes it even more impossible. Why even put the Berkshire? Because he has no choice now. He's got all this resource. He's not going to build on his starting island. This at least protects the tree line. Unbelievable. We're going to hit the speed up. Oh, wait, we do have a clash on water. Slow it down a little bit here. This pressure is coming in. The puck ball first to reach up, but it comes at a cost. Look at the military mass. Has to pull back here. Man the sails from Stopper as he keeps on pressing. He needs to find his own tech up soon. And really, actually, what Puppy Ball needs, he needs some outposts on the central islands. He needs to kind of expand that aura. Demo clipping. He has got the explosives tech. Swivel cannons is now on the way for Puppy Paw. A big deal, remember, it gives you those cannon shots, 360. So it means even when you're retreating, you're attacking. And in combination with Admiralty, it means you can just brutalize your opponent without even really needing to stop. Cool read here in Stopper, knowing that it's coming, is trying to prep his own tech. Remember, in terms of unique techs, you really don't have anything that cool. Ooh, fire stations is bad, guys. I do not know how after all this time, fire stations has not been reworked. If you're wondering what it is, there it is hovering on the screen. You're wondering what it is because it never gets built. It gives you +1 health regen every 2 seconds out of combat. It is half as impactful as Chivalry. And actually, in the grand scheme of a game, even less impactful than Chivalry. I think fire stations might be the most depressingly useless tech in the game. Can anyone think of a worse tech? I'm kind of struggling a bit. As they stop it to do damage now, the swivel cannon's just really adding up. That tech should probably be free, right? Like, I don't think it actually makes HU OTD inborn water if this is just a perk that they get extra healing when they're not being attacked. Oh, no, I'm going to defend it. Geometry was still better than fire stations. Even before they changed it. No, lumber tech... Really? You think forestry is that worthless? I feel like forestry has more value than fire stations, surely. Oh, second TC from Puppy Paw now on the second island. Palace of Swabia is multi-TC for Stopper. Wait, did he forget to... Stopper? No. Are you kidding me? No way. Like, you can't make this up. He doesn't see his second relic. That's brutal. So only one relic regnance is pretty depressing at this stage. A bunch of ships from Puppy Paw are starting to shuffle around, and we do have the carracks on the way, but Stopper queuing up a lot more. Need to blitzkrieg this. He's starting to siege through the starting docks. Stopper trying to get a few carracks out in this area. He's also queuing them up on the second island because he knows it's a lot safer. And remember, because this Berkshire got pushed so deep, it actually doesn't protect the water area, so you can get blocked on this island as well. This is really just going to be a carrack race. Demo's now coming in, and it's a big wave. 13 from Stopper. Archer ships just trying to stop it. The swivel cannons are helping out a little bit, but not enough. He wants the big boy target. Gets the carrack. Almost gets it all. Just an inch short of hitting the triple backline of Hulks there. Stopper now getting that breathing room. Swivel count looking good. The carrack lead is with him. No swivel cannons just yet. Stopper actually hasn't gone for that tech. A little bit surprised by that. Instead, he's been prioritizing more carracks. Damn. Puppy Paw is not sailing for brighter and smoother waters here. He's in a bit of a pickle. Carrack comes out to defend against the galley raid. Wait, why do carracks do so little damage to galleys? What? That is kind of pathetic, right? It's because he got level 2 shipwrights, the extra health, right? And Puppy Paw, he's going for a keep drop. But wait, but at this stage, does he really care? Because Stopper now has the second island. If you don't block the gold, I mean, the gold's down to 1,300. That's not even that great. But we're doing it anyway. Puppy Paw, he drops a keep. We are nominating this piece of ass. Like, honestly, dude. I would not have expected this in this game. Puppy Paw is likely going to be dropping another keep because this is just a staging point. There it is. Second keep drop coming in. I mean, dude, be more ambitious. Dream to dream. Like, go all the way here. Carracks, in the meantime, are taking a bit of a chill break. We do have Springles going shuffling around. Unbelievable. We're going to hit the fast forward because there's a little bit of a gap here. Slow down as neither side are really truly attacking. Likely we're going to be seeing a Siege Workshop play out of Puppy Paw here, surely. This Carracks I would defend against this. Fishing boats were just trying to gather in the area. The Springles are still patrolling. We'll be able to find the boats coming across, and Puppy Paw immediately hesitates, so can't get the 26 villagers across. Unfortunate for him as well, because there's not really much left on this island. He could set up farms. Remember, he just got enclosures, so Puppy Paw will have infinite gold as well. And Stopper. Oh, hey! He found it. That took way too long. Meanwhile, look at this. Stopper has moved onto this island. I mean, he knows what's up here, right? So, opens with a dock. And the immediate spam of Raxes. He's like, if you're going to invade me, I'll invade you too. But I'm going to take what really matters. That second island. Puppy Paw, now with a Men-at-Arms flood. Love this. He was building them out the keeps as well as the racks, right? They are only feudal age Men-at-Arms, but gradually getting upgraded now. This is wild. On the other side, we have the veterancy mirrored for MAA. Oh my god. And Puppy Paw, he only has the Berkshire here. It's triple racks, man. There's no way you win this fight. Not his current state. The fishing boats! Oh my god. He pinches it! That's 16 villages! The other 10 have to make a break for land. But a heavy hit there! As Puppy Paw finds his transpose getting sunk. What a sick move. Stopper is styling right now. 13 carracks to 6. Clear eco lead now in his hands. Such a creative approach, and I'm seeing it said in the chat. Fat Bob's like, I've never seen fishing boats used like that. I mean, anything in body block, right? Underrated value play there. Stopper, how much economy can he lose on this island? Okay, this is actually fine. He's got, what, 11 villages here? You lose 11 villages, you're still great on economy. Outpost now being set up in the area. He's going to gather off the berries. The Men-at-Arms fighting into the English counterparts here. But Gilded Men-at-Arms will always win that fight. And Puppy Paw, as a result, realizing it, is trying to switch down to the crossbows. Archer Rangers, Rax is being built up. We've got a full land war happening on the Northern Island. Puppy Paw just kind of getting outmaneuvered around his own fishing area here. The Carracks are moving north side. He really wants to try and do a drive-by towards the fishing, if anything. It's actually the only real place that Puppy Paw has docks, right? He could set them up where he's got the double keep, but if you starve this starting island, he doesn't have any play. We do finally have those outposts we talked about earlier coming through, so that'll be giving the attack speed aura. Stopper needs to slow down a bit. He needs to stop with this dive. He needs to get into siege. You can't compete with the Berkshire like this. Absolutely wild game. Something tells me it's not over yet. We're going to hit the speed up because we have a little bit of a slowdown again. Just a bit of a meat grinder. Carracks are going to come in, so blocker to any counter dock play. Stopper is going to get shoved off the island. Yeah, and it's kind of crazy, right? If he had a few bombards here, maybe. And again, bombards to the Carracks also just kind of sucks. The problem is his fleet. He's going back to the southern island, which I'm just going to be blunt and say it. Why? What is the value down here? I think Stopper kind of skipped a trick. If he played North, he wins the game. The game at this stage is about the Eastern Northern Islands. They're all that matters. Home Islands have nothing. Now Poppy Paw just getting increased value as he moves across that Eastern Island. Stopper, I'm not really sure what the play is with this. He's finally denying the docks, which you talked about earlier. That's not a bad idea, per se. If you actually kill them. Mirrored move as well, as Poppy Paw looks to take away his docks. This is now a race to reduce each other to no docks so that you can then outproduce your opponent. Stopper, however, is coming home. We're going to hit 2 times speed because it takes a while. More villagers in trouble. Kind of regretting building anything near the coast at this stage. Stopper has 18 carracks right now. And the backstab is real. Poppy Paw, he sees it. He needs to get out right now, but you can't. It's broadside. If he just walks up with you, fishing boat's the front line and taking all the shots. Stopper, he just needs to chase. If he's taking too long to A-click here, he just needs to move past. Starts to shuffle for the broadside. He's got him pinched here. Poppy Paw needs some demos really to try and play out of this, but this is the thing, folks. When you're up to this many carracks, it's difficult to counter it with demos. Fleet trade looking great here. Poppy Paw now 10 carracks behind across the map. What a sick move. Stopper. Now you just want to do a cyclical move, right? Counterclockwise all the way around the map. That's the next play. Man, this is wild. Poppy Paw, yes, he can afford the gold long term, but the wood loss is going to be more important here. Is there a scout equipment for water fog? Yes, fishing boats. Fishing boats are your savior. We're going to hit the speed up again because carracks are slow. Stone gathering on the other island. Poppy Paw, I mean, it's a cute idea, keeps, right? But it's not going to win you the game. In fact, at this stage, really, the heads-up play for Stopper is go for the sacred sites. Transport ship out, do it on all of them. And in fact, yeah, he can now. He's set up the monastery here. Poppy Paw is not really in a position where he can contest that. Demos coming in from both sides. Stopper is dealing with the galleys fast. Trade out is going to be brutal. Stopper a little bit capped. He needs to be moving forward more between the attacks. And what was that formation shuffle? He got pushed forward by the demo there. That's kind of wild. Remember, like, demos, this is the weird thing with boats. They can actually influence each other's movement speeds. So the demo is actually pushing the carrack forward faster. Demo connection comes in big, though. And Poppy Paw has lost it all. He's down to just 2 carracks. Meanwhile, Land Army not going to be really that impactful into warships here. Another attempt for Stopper to try and set up his own land invasion on the Northern Island. Oh, unbelievable game. Unbelievable series this is now turning into. Remember, for those just tuning in, game 1 was worth watching. Stopper really just twisting the game a little bit on Poppy Paw, not making it easy, definitely not making it comfortable. And now in game number 2, really coming in with a statement that I am not going into that darkness. So down coming on the docks, so no more carracks. Poppy Paw is just desperately trying to get back on the water, but we've seen this type of situation before. There's only one area left. It's the south side. There's already a carrack coming over that could start to deny these docks. Needs to be quick about it. A demo would actually save Poppy Paw here. He goes arrow slit. Wait, what? You lose the dock before arrow slits, guys. If Stopper just starts attacking it, this is a pointless play. Oh my god. There is nowhere he's getting out. He's trying, but this is futile. Wow. He got there in the end. Stopper, he has blockaded practically everywhere. The docks on the east side are going to show your attempt to get underwater here. And really, what does Poppy Paw have left, man? I mean, at this stage, if Stopper just remembers to lock the sacred sites, it's GG. Well played. Well-earned victory. Color me impressed, man. We do have bombards coming from Poppy Paw, which actually is a smart read. Carracks only have 9 tower range, so you can outgun them. That'll get you the space to get back onto the water, right? But I think just Stopper's kind of griefing himself a little. Still not going Sacred Sites. He's forgotten at this stage. Siege Workshop's going to be dropped, so he will try to treb his way through everything. Maybe even a Culverin. We're going to stick on the 2x speed because like this is a very slow point in the game. You can tell just by the state of the map. Is this the best Archipelago game we've seen? Not just because of the player that's winning, but the way it played out. True. The fishing pinch was sick. So Bombards are mopping up the carrick. Stopper needs to be a little bit aware of this. He has got Gilded Crossbowman coming. And Culverin's there as well. If Puppy Paw loses this wood, it doesn't matter if he gets docks up. He won't have any wood to work with, right? So still a pretty damning situation right now. Now that the crossbows are ride, Puppy Paw needs to be ready to defend. Now, he has got a decent number of men-at-arms here, but it's into Gilded Crossbows and hand cannoneers. Also Carracks to assist. Dive comes through. Villagers will just look for safety. It's good enough to shove him away. Freaking wild. Wait, what? The pop rivers with bolts. Okay, well, I'm glad that worked. Venturetron. Dude, I love how we just got people stealing ideas in my chat. Really Steve Jobsing it up. Stopper should buy wood, true. But his gold is limiting as well, right? Actually, not really. Bombard's now arriving, but weirdly enough, actually, Stopper focusing on Unitrade. He's trying to stop EAT. Secret sites have now been locked in, folks, so the time bomb has started ticking. Stopper just shows so much passive gold. It's really hard to see a way. Double keep drop now coming in as Puppy Paw, trying to really find that way safely back underwater. Finally has. But now the outpost defense begins. Cannon emplacements coming in. This is looking virtually impossible for Puppy Paw. If you told me this game would be in 40 minutes, I wouldn't believe you. I really wouldn't have believed you. And also, just remember, like, you know, Puppy Paw has really been seen as quite scary on the water these days. So much credit to Stopper. Why not as a water map? Because usually there's a clear victor on Archipelago by now, I'd say. Some people try to drag it out, but... A little bit of poke again. Puppy Paw needs to be very careful with these transport ships. He's trying to march over. The Carrack is going to be there. But the cannons, can the cannons intercept quick enough? No! He gets the first. Can he get the reload? The men-at-arms unload. Just in time there. Decap is coming. Puppy Paw refuses to die. Unbelievable. However, what's even more unbelievable is him getting a decap here. The cannon emplacements are just going to kill him. North side, he has at least reclaimed, so docks are coming in there again. However, the Carracks could intercept that. Bombard needs to clear them. And we have a drop on the eastern island. Stopper's eco's in a bit of a pickle here. He doesn't have that much. Okay, that's enough hand cannons to defend. Stopper just needs to use them. Right now, he's not. He's down to 53 villages. 152 military. He's just building more Carracks. Okay, hear me out. Puppy Paw just masses demos, clears the fleet, gets a landing, GG. Unbelievable. I mean, Puppy, he does have the infinite food and gold to keep Normandying this. He's starting to work his way through the outposts as well. The cannon emplacement ones are still there, though. Really just needs to creep north side, and yeah, he's trying for it. The sneaky snake, he's coming from both angles, and it looks like he might find the one exposed. Wait, no, Puppy, no. He's going for another drop instead of going for the decap. Oh my god, I think Puppy Paw is just assuming that Stopper has outposted all the islands, which is just not true. He only has one outposted, the second one now being set up, but no emplacements. This is just kind of a farce, right? It's a lie. Counterplay now coming in. It looks like he actually got found trying to go across. So once again, Puppy Paw pushed off water. We're going to once again have to speed this up a bit. It's just back and forth. Puppy Paw has 3 of the islands, and yet still, Stopper is the one winning. This boat's just still so suffocating. There's only one real angle Puppy Paw is able to come from here. Stopper still with plenty of boats to hold him back as well, right? It's 10 carracks at this stage. Only 8. Now make it 9 for Puppy Paw. Another attempt. Another fail here. He's at least distracted part of the fleet. Another drop comes in. He's trying to go for the landmark snipe. It's a good idea, but it's just not going to work out. E-repairs makes it so tricky. You need to bring like 10 bombards in, which Puppy Paw just doesn't have the economy for. He's moving in now. Maybe the Carracks could win out finally for him. 26 Carracks! Bloody hell. Stopper's gonna get off of this series and just watch all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies from start to finish. 3 minutes away now from a sacred site victory for Stopper. Right now, Puppy Paw trading quite well into this. Has got the network of castles aura to make it better. Demo ships making it a bit swifter. But immediately, just look how many more characters just came out. Come on. Surely not. North side is still a whole big bag of nothing happening. You can't get off. Carracks now moving in, but the cannon placements are going to be there to assist. Needs to clear them. Trying to build the monastery to make sure no units can come out to block a decap. He's really got, what, 1 attempt at this? It's not looking great for him, though. The Carracks, they overextend. Barely any alive at this stage. 2 of them on fire. Out of a total of 5. They're ringing the bell. The pressure really is on. 2 minutes away from a victory for the CIS player. More of these cannon placements coming in. Puppy Paw at this stage has become a little bit too linear with his push. Wood also running out. Like, he's exhausted almost all of it. Just a small fragment of group left. He's not really even gathering that much wood. Carracks push in. Puppy Paw is about to get landlocked again. And with only 1 minute and 20 seconds left, the outcome is undeniable. Stopper is going to hit back in a big way. Transport just trying to wrap around for that one drop-off, that one moment that can maybe get Puppy Paw back into the game. But it will get denied. The men-at-arms barely get onto land. And what a game. What a crazy match here. Say what you want about water, but bloody hell did this entertain. And most importantly, we see a third game. GG! Puppy Paw drops a game. A rare statement to make outside of Grand Finals. This man usually looks impenetrable, but now has to be feeling a bit shaken after his experience in Archipelago. It comes down to a third game. That's right, you're seeing that correctly. Puppy Paw can bleed. Superman is not impenetrable. Stopper brought the kryptonite in that second game, and it will be decided here on Dry Arabia. Stopper getting his comfort pick Roos, but Puppy Paw getting the bloody absurd Delhi. Delhi, Roos on Dry Arabia. Interesting matchup, actually. Considering the Roos right now go for these fast castle builds, I think it's a little bit problematic. Delhi's Ghazi are just very good against Horse Archer Mass, so Stopper's likely going to have to play H2, and that's not great. You don't really want to be building Knights into Mass Ghazi with healing behind them. Maybe we see some sort of 2TC build, but that very rarely ends well. There was a time where 2TC Roos could kind of work against Delhi, if you found the timing right. We'll have to see how he wants to approach it. Damn. What a game too, though. Like, I think a lot of us are still processing that. I think this is going to be uploaded as a series. It's tricky because usually with the series, I try to have something about game 1 in there to really set up the storyline, but in some ways, game 2 really just stole it. Unbelievable. Let's hit the fast forward, at least for the first 3 minutes of this land map. Because we are back on land. Remember, Stopper, to get that win, it had to go to Archipelago, where things got really scrappy, really messy. Sheep Hall is going to be 11 so far. Puppy Paw, ooh, he shot and he missed. He's on 7 sheep. I mean, it's double scout, but it looks like he's been snatched pretty hard here. 8 sheep to 13. Probably going to be able like 14 finish. It's a really good start for Stopper, especially when you consider that you gather on berries to Delhi, right? So this is a brutal win, like 2/3 sheep for Roos. Dome of Faith, nothing out of the ordinary here. Golden Gate, Dome of Faith. I wasn't really expecting anything too drastically different here. I don't think the Kremlin build feels as good now against these Dome of Faith builds. It used to be better against Tower Victory because you stopped an all-in timing and you rally for like 2 TC on a delay. I'm not sure this actually ends well for Stopper if he just does a classic fast castle. Like, at that point, what's really your value play? You could theoretically build some knights, as long as there's not too many Ghazi, but I think part of the problem now is, like, you know, Delhi aren't afraid of attacking, and they get so much value out of just scaling into mass Ghazi in the meantime. Bit tricky. Alright, 1s if you think Puppy Paw's going to take this, 2s if you think Stopper's going to take it. The Fortress is coming in, so we'll have that extra wood gen, and with 11 on there, we might actually see him trying to play the edge. Looking at the spawn as well, like Sacred Site's pretty balanced, so very easily reachable for Puppy Paw, especially if there's no pressure coming out. I don't like Stopper's spawn. This gold is really exposed. It's so far out there, right? He has at least got a retracted one, but it's so hard to wall early now on these maps. Delhi, meanwhile, they got retracted berries. That's pretty damn good. Northern side ones, semi-exposed, but not crazy. Also, the other worrisome part is Stopper got both deer forward of him to the north. Eventually, Pro Scouts is going to come in and hoover that, and it's already been queued up. 3 minutes 50 away. We do have the stables. This is what we thought we were going to see out of Stopper. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess he kind of needs to. Otherwise, he's just going to lose in the food game. They'll both just mass cavalry, and eventually Stopper will have to come out first. So it feels necessary, but this is always the painful thing with Delhi. They have enough food in the meantime, and then just 3 minutes, they'll have the tech for free. So has to kind of get it while he can. We'll have, what, a 2.5 minute window to exploit that. But with the Ghazi already arriving, they are going to be able to play blocker to this play. Another awkward part here is if you start to kind of falter, if you give up a little bit of territory, you don't have the gold then to build the knights. It makes me wonder if maybe Stopper should have just built spears. Immediately knights into Pro Scouts when you know Ghazi are coming is a little bit greedy. Whereas if you had spears, you know, it's very hard for Ghazi to trade into you. You know, here, like what, you just double up the knights with the Ghazi? And you should be able to trade okay. If it's free Ghazi to 1 knight, like I don't know how Stopper's meant to win that fight. We'll see the free and back away. Understandably so. Blocker on the gold though, and that means that Stopper is only going to be able to queue up 1 additional knight past this. Not just that, Puppy Paw now with the spears. I have to go back to it, right? It's the spear detail. If Stopper had just speared first, sure, you can argue that Delhi would go archers, but is that bad for a guy who gets 20% more wood? It's not Tower Victory anymore, so if you could have opened spears and forced your opponent to react with archers, you can just get ahead of him. Ah, man. It's tricky because, like, you know, I don't think we see too much of Delhi Roos. They play into different maps, but I almost want to say that, especially with the Pro Scouts play going into Knights as well, Stopper kind of outplayed himself. Because now that you've gone for Pro Scouts, it's obvious that you're going to want to play onto the deer. So your opponent can just block that. Whereas otherwise, what you could have been doing here is these Knights could have been raiding. You could have been chipping away at the Delhi eco. Sacred Site's now being locked in. Stopper needs to make a move soon. Like, building knights just to stay in your base like this is a quick way of losing a game against Delhi. It doesn't feel good. You're going to have to leave your base and just look for raids. Right now, just guarding these deer, sure, you're getting some long-term food, but what's going to happen here is, I mean, Poppy Paw Pro Scouts come through in about 10 seconds. Yeah, 25, actually. And with the Sacred Sites locked in as well, his own deer to pick up, he could just skip ahead of you into castle. Also, keep in mind with the spears, he's now going to have the ability to wall these in. Archer reaction is coming in, so Stopper is now pivoting. Puppy Paw, does he stick H2 or does he just go for the level up? It's a little bit risky to tech, but now your opponent has to deal with the Sacred Sites, right? So you actually kind of get quite a bit of room. Imagine Puppy Paw getting eliminated here. I mean, it would be rare. The earliest he's ever gone out so far in midweek muster after all these weeks is semifinals. We're in the round of 16 right now. Would definitely make it a very concerning and unpredictable week. No one would really be sure who's going to be turning up in that grand finals if it happens. Right now, though, it doesn't look great for Stopper. Puppy Paw is going age up. You can see by the way he's stockpiling resources, it's way too much gold. It's just inherently going to happen by about 12 minutes at this rate. So you might as well pull the trigger. No, Puppy Paw has got Undermesh on the way. He's got them queued up. He just done solo Blacksmith. In fact, with the amount of map control he's got, he could prep to pick up 4 relics with a tech up. So, I kind of feel bad for Stopper, man. Like, after that game, too. Like, little takeaway for people when you're in this position. If you've built knights and you're just sitting at home, there's not many civs that can really justify that. You have to make sure you have some sort of upper hand. Like, when you see a French player do it, it's because they have a better TC producing more villagers. Rus don't have that. And it's even worse still against Delhi. Like, you feel bad because if you choose your wrong timing to attack, you just lose the game straight away. But the longer you wait, the more resource gen difference between both of you. And here we go. Tech up's going to be on the way. House of Learning now coming in. It should be about that 12-minute for the complete tech up. Sacred Site's now being decapped, but I think Stopper may have been a little bit late to the party. Would Horse Archers work? Your opponent's built Ghazis. Do you really want to be building Horse Archers here? That's the problem. And, you know, then you just... If you go Horse Archers, Delhi can just go Tower Elephants. Which is going to force you into Horsemen. Which, you know, if you're a 25, 30 minutes in, can kind of see it. But we're not. We're 11 minutes, 12 minutes into the game. You can't really afford to spam Horsemen as Rus at that stage. High Trade House now on the way, so at least he's going to mirror the tech up timing. Really, the way that Stopper wins this game is raiding. He needs to look away from the army and look at the economy. It's not really what we've been seeing in this game so far. Tech up complete. And let the ridiculousness begin. Select all your buildings and queue all your upgrades. And guess how much you'll pay for those, folks? Nothing. You pay nothing. This isn't actually that clean by Puppy Paw. He didn't move out for relics. He didn't queue up all his tech straight away. A little bit surprised, actually. I thought at least he'd have 3 relics on the way home. There was a little bit of pressure coming from Stopper, but nothing overwhelming per se. And I believe we still don't have those scholars on the move. No, first one's now boogalooing out. There is some hope, actually. Like, from what I just saw from Puppy Paw, his timing wasn't very cleanly executed. I don't think Puppy Paw was expecting Stopper to attack. I think Puppy Paw was expecting an all-in feudal. So he's acting like that was coming, which is why he hunkered down his base. So Stopper kind of got a one-up on him there. But what does it now become is the big question I have. Wants to rush veteran first? No, I think he legitimately thought that Stopper was sending it. Like, the veterancy for spears is nice, right? But, like, you can just produce your own lances anyway. Home Blades coming in very quick here, just 30 seconds out. Relics now starting to be picked up by Puppy Paw. Stopper is going to try to mirror the play, but it takes him so long, 35 seconds to produce Warrior Monks. Meanwhile, you arrive in Castle Age, and oh look, I have 10 scholars. How did that happen? Oh man, there might not be any relics left on the map at this rate. It's a 4 relic grab. The only one that you can't reach is the one behind Stopper's base. And Puppy Paw with mass lances, he's now got the edge. Honed Blades. You'll beat these knights. Puppy Paw is going to go for the Wallow. Doesn't even need to. Home Blades now in. 27 damage on the Khalij. Only 24 for those swords. Stopper starting to regret not going for crossbows earlier, because that would have been his saving grace here. Charge comes in. Spears in the mixer as well, and they're already vetted up for the low, low price of nothing. They paid nothing. I'm losing my mind saying that so often with this Civ. Warrior Monk comes in, gives the blessing. But the blessing was one for a funeral. Stopper not able to hold back the tide. And the Delhi dive begins. These formation shuffles also costing him more because the crossbows are stuck in there, so the knights can't run away fast enough. Has got the Wooden Fortress defenses to help out a little bit, but this is an overwhelming surge. Stopper with barely any troops left to stand. Heavily armored units diving into the base, and what's looking like it's going to be a 5 relic game. This is a rapid conclusion to an otherwise tight and close series in game 1 and 2. Puppy Paw had somewhere to be, a dentist appointment to make, so he knocks the teeth out of Stopper's base and continues on through to the quarterfinals. What do you think, guys? Crazy set overall. Underwhelming final game. Puppy Paw just showing how brutal the Delhi can be. But gotta give Stopper credit, man. That game 1 was insane. He was trading evenly with one of the best players in AoE 4 consistently for a lot of that French-Japanese matchup. In a matchup that favors Japanese that Puppy Paw had. Then game 2. Credit where credit is due. It may be an expected outcome. 2-1, actually. Most people thought it would be a 2-0 for Puppy Paw. But Stopper made Puppy Paw more uncomfortable than I've seen almost any player make him in those first 2 games of Midweek Muster. Crazy set. If you like what you've been seeing here, folks, remember to be checking on us live. We do stream these games regularly, Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. We're going to be live every week throughout 2025 for the first half of the year. So hopefully I'll see you guys tuning in. This is just one of many epic sets that have happened, so be sure to check the VODs, be sure to check the YouTube uploads, and I'll catch you all in the next chapter.